Hey everybody, what's up everybody? I am really excited to do a second live stream for you just because of how well the first one went down. First of all, thank you so much to everybody who tuned in live with me and had a really good time talking about the episode. It took a while for the episode to air Tuesday, then I went live on like Friday or Saturday, but this time, the day after, here we are ready to talk about the show. I see someone from our special guest squad over here already excited to talk to Brittany. And that brings me up to Brittany, everybody. So Brittany is a fellow reviewer on YouTube. She's on Instagram as well. And we connected before doing an Instagram live about the show. Let me just pull her up over here. This is Brittany, everybody, from Britt.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, we had a ball, by the way, on Instagram.
really, really good time. And so we decided to kind of link back up to talk about Teen Mom OG, except this time on YouTube. So I'm going to give Brittany a quick second to introduce herself to everybody who might not know her quite yet.
Hello, everybody. So the crazy thing is, Grace, when I was about to get on, I almost wore my mask because it's been so long since we had like human interaction. I don't need that. But hi, guys. I am Britt on YouTube. I do reviews, like Grace said. I do them 3 days a week. I do Tuesdays, Sundays, and Saturdays. I almost forgot Saturday because I just added that on. So yeah, you guys can find me at Britt Brat on YouTube. You can also find me on Britt Brat Reviews, Instagram, TikTok. And my husband and I also have a podcast, that's a relationship podcast called Love Lockdown. You can find us on any streaming service. So that is about it. That is it. Thank you guys. I love Grace. I have been a huge fan of her for a while, so it's an honor to be here.
Thank you so much. You guys, it is time to hop into this episode recap. It was a really good episode. I know that like for a while we've been talking about how like Teen Mom OG is a little bit like dull or whatever, but like they're really starting to step it up this season. And I'm really excited for it because it's been about time. So just to start off from the top of the episode, this is what happens. Do you guys remember last week how Amber, quote unquote, fainted after she was brought into not rehab, to anger management? You guys, this is where we start off in this episode of the show. So we get to see her. The ambulance had already picked her up, but like they didn't take her anywhere. And I was a little bit suspicious about that. Like I was already like, did this girl really faint, or was she faking it the same way that she does with her tears? But yeah, the ambulance doesn't even take her anywhere. So I'm going to turn on the volume just so you can hear her explanation of what went down after she fainted, after Gary talks to his wife, Christina, about everything.
Yeah,
at least you've got her taken care of. Take her home and get her tucked in.
Yeah. So, all right, babe, I'm going to take her. I'll talk to you soon, okay?
Okay, love you.
I love you. Bye.
Bye.
Well, that was great.
Good times.
The doctor told me to go in, but I'm not going to the hospital. I'm just going to go home, I'm going to eat something, just going to relax. I really don't remember just even like...
Sounds like you need a Mountain Dew slushy.
I'm sorry. I feel so bad right now.
So there you go, you guys. That is Amber getting back in the car with her baby and ex-boyfriend Gary. And yeah, the ambulance didn't take her anywhere. She's claiming they told her to go to the doctor, but I don't know if I even believe that personally. I think they told her, listen, girl, there is no Emmy for Best Actress on a reality TV series. Take your ass back home. Britt, what did you think about that scene?
I was the same. Like, she needs to just stop. I feel like she was just trying to get attention. And all of a sudden, like, her connection with Gary, I love him because I feel like he's put up with a lot with her. And the fact that he's so supportive for Leah is great. But I feel like when she gets around him, she's being super extra lately. I don't know if she's trying to like... I don't know what it is. Is she trying to get back with him, Grace? I know we talked about that a little bit earlier. Like, do you feel like there's a connection still? Because I've always felt like Gary has never fallen out of love with her. She just beat him. So, like, he kind of had no choice. But
yeah, that's the thing. I'm like, I don't trust this girl at all. I don't know her intentions with Gary, but I'm always on the fence with her. I'm like, she really just loves like people kind of like feeling like really sappy for her. And so I just don't buy it personally. So in the next scene, we get Ryan's parents. They get a solo scene. That is how kind of dry the show is, that the parents are getting solo scenes. So they are in their house. Guys, I have to pause right here just to show it to you. Does it not look like their house could be the Tin Man's house from The Wizard of Oz? Like, seriously, what is all this? Like the tin walls, the gray, green, whatever it is everywhere. I'm like, okay, Tin Man, do you. What do you think of their decor?
It's different. I'm wondering if it's even, is that really their house, or do you think it's a filming house?
Maybe the shed, girl. But it is their house. It's like they're very fascinating taste in decor.
Yeah, look at him pouring it up. What is that he's pouring up? Because you can see where Ryan.
He's pouring some Bud Light. You know how popular Bud Light is among his family and Macy's family as well.
That's so funny.
So in the scene, the two of them talk about the way that Ryan kind of blew up at them, or not them, but specifically Larry last week. Like, he was pushing him like, why are you kind of acting like the restraining order is the only reason you went back to jail? Like, he's trying to like avoid saying it, but he wanted to say it so bad. Like, dude, you got caught with drugs again. That's why you went back to jail. And so in the scene, he talks about how, like, from now on, he's not going to talk about that to Ryan anymore. So I want to get your opinion, Britt, and the audience's opinion as well on Larry's change of heart there. Like, how do you feel about him going from, like, so finally, like, feeling a backbone towards Ryan to now kind of like walking it back and being like, we're not going to talk about things anymore, so that he doesn't blow up at us?
I think that it might be the drug use. The fact that he's getting off now is maybe a reason his dad doesn't want to have conflict with him. He doesn't want to stress him out. But I think his mom is even more hurt, because at least when he blew up in the past, it was an excuse. You know what I mean? Like, he was on, like, we all knew it. He was using when he blew up. But now that he's like sober and still doing it, I think she's like, wait a minute. Like,
Exactly. I think that, like, I'm seeing some comments here saying that Ryan doesn't really get any kind of accountability from anyone. I'm seeing Ryan needs to be told about himself. Who knows him better than his parents? Which is very, very right. Like, I kind of get like where they're coming from in terms of like no longer wanting to push him in case that causes him to like stop talking to them altogether. And we all know that, if Ryan stops talking to his parents, then that means that they don't get to see Bentley anymore, or not them, like they will always, but like he'll stop seeing Bentley. You know what I mean? Because it's them that push him to see Bentley. So I'm kind of trying to get it from both ends. Yeah, like Larry, he's trying to protect Bentley and not Ryan there. And I'm seeing Emia saying Ryan's mom is an enabler, which is a very popular sentiment, with the audience.
and also I think because Mackenzie, is that her name? His wife?
His wife, yeah, Mackenzie.
Because she's pregnant again. So there's 2 other grandkids now too.
Yes, I completely actually forgot about that Mackenzie was pregnant. They haven't announced it quite yet, which is fascinating because her belly is already quite big. So like it's obvious that she is pregnant, and we know that, like, we now know that she already had the baby. So I guess it's only like a matter of maybe like one more episode or something like that before we kind of get the announcement from them.
I'm waiting for it.
Yeah. Oh, there's another comment there. Do you mind reading that while I pull the next scene for us?
Of course. Bentley has always been so close to Larry and Jen, so they don't want to lose any time with him because Macy could move away without a question if Ryan had no actual custody. Again, totally true. I think that's always been their thing, is just worried about the grandkids, which is completely understandable, because I couldn't imagine if I had grandbabies not being able to see them because of my knucklehead kid. But that's just a really difficult thing to deal with.
Absolutely.
Now, grandparents have no rights.
Exactly. It's so sad. Like, look at what happened with Farrah. Farrah's got the baby daddy who had passed away, and so like his parents try to see Sophia every once in a while, but like they can't because grandparents don't exactly have rights. Now, in the next scene, we are over in LA, you guys, and it is Cheyenne and her boyfriend. They had a little bit of, not even a little bit, like a huge falling out over asparagus. Guys, take a look at the scene, and we'll talk about it afterwards.
Say it. I just, that's all I know that.
You don't have to say that.
Well, there's some subjects from here on out that I'm just going to completely avoid.
Good choice.
Yeah, it's a really good choice.
I'm a stand by.
A war broke out.
Yeah. I can notice some tension.
The actual like blow up argument is just gonna sound so stupid. I'm just embarrassed to say it.
It's okay.
So last week, everyone came over to Mom's house. I went and got food for everyone, came back to Mom's house, prepped all the food, started cooking. And something brought me away from the kitchen. So Remy said to Matt, can you make Shy a plate? I come into the kitchen, pick up the plate, and I see that there's asparagus on the plate. I don't like asparagus. Asparagus makes your pee stink. So I said, I don't eat asparagus. I'm just going to put these back. And he just started going off. You're ungrateful. You should have started off with "you're welcome." How dare you? It was just so awkward. And I'm literally just sitting there like a mute.
If there's something going on between you guys in your relationship, you need to go
Handle
hey,
that somewhere
can I talk
else.
to you in the other room? Like, you
But
don't
you
make a
sitting
scene in
here
front of people.
screaming at me in front of my family and
Yeah.
my friends and your friends. How are you not embarrassed doing this?
Wow, you guys, asparagus. Who would have freaking thought that asparagus would lead to a knockdown, drag out, blow up, whatever fight where your significant other is screaming at you in front of your family and friends? Guys, who was in the wrong there? What do you think, Britt?
I'm crazy, and I'm even looking at the comments. Someone said pee always stinks. I just thought that was the funniest excuse for why she doesn't like asparagus, because like there's a lot of foods that make her pee stink. But I think that argument obviously had to be about way more than asparagus. It's just that was the thing that set it off.
Yeah.
But there has to be, like all of a sudden he came and was like, oh, my roommate backed out, so you want to move in?
That's what I thought too. I was like, it is so weird of him to be just pulling up in a house with, a woman who's got like a daughter who lives with her nephew and her sister's son as well. Like, you can't just roll up in someone's house, So I think that the tension from that was already there and it was building. And so, it's kind of like, Vanderpump Rules. It's not about the pasta. It is not about the asparagus whatsoever. Yeah, like that's what a lot of people are saying here. Tremaine's asking, were they drinking? Which, is a very relevant question. There might have been some wine here and there, but I wouldn't doubt. But I definitely do think that like the greatest issue that they were having here is that, again, look at Kayla right there. I honestly think Cheyenne was so annoyed with Matt moving in that every little thing he started to do was annoying her. So yeah. That's definitely what it kind of felt like to me. But like that's why I kind of see it from both directions. I'm like, like, why would he yell at her? Like, who yells? I can understand the tension causing you to be like, oh my God, like she didn't say thank you to me when I did this thing for her. That irritates me. But like, why would you actually yell?
I don't know. There's something more that we're not hearing from the story. It's got to be. And then I'm wondering too, like, does he really not understand that she has a daughter? It's really awkward to just like try to do that.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a little girl on top of that. Like, even with a son, but a little girl.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I'm just going to play that in the background when we talk about it. So you kind of see her and her sister talk a little bit more about the situation that was going on. And she mentioned how she had planned to cancel his ticket to Thailand. The two of them were supposed to be going for a trip for her sister's birthday, and she's thinking of canceling the trip. So let's dive into the scene right now with some audio and get some context.
But it's like, if we don't get on the same page as far as like how I want a relationship to work versus how he wants one to work, then I'm going to cancel his ticket.
The part that stuck out to me in that scene, I was like, she's going to cancel his ticket. Why the heck is she buying this grown ass man's ticket to Thailand? What was going on there?
I was wondering the same. And then with her sister too, like, do you feel like she gets enjoyment out of?
I think her sister's an awkward smiler.
That's what it is.
Yeah, you think she's like really like relishing in it or reveling in it?
I don't know. That's what I've been. What do you guys think in the comments? Because I've been wondering, like, is she enjoying this, or is she, like you said, just like awkward, like just doesn't know how to?
Yeah, guys, let us know what you think about that. I feel like I was really disappointed because I felt like Cheyenne, because guys, Cheyenne, for those who don't know, Cheyenne is the godmother to like one of Diddy. You know that story?
I know.
The godmother to like one of the sons of Diddy's. I think the one with Misa Hilton or something. So like she has access to like men who have their own money, just like she's got her own money. So the idea of her having this guy pull up to her house with like his suitcases and like, no notice, and now she's paying for trips for him to go to Thailand rubs me the wrong way. Literally, like every single what woman on the show is a sugar mama to like their boyfriend or their husband.
Are.
Hate to see it. Helen agrees with you, by the way, Brooke. I think she's saying that Cheyenne's sister might get a little bit of enjoyment out of what is going on over there with Cheyenne's relationship. But Tadisha is Team Grace. She's like, nope, her sister is just awkward.
Yeah, because sometimes even in serious situations, I might laugh a little bit because it's just to keep from either crying or just being a mess. So I can understand where the awkwardness is coming from.
Awkward stares. Yeah. Next up is a scene from Mackenzie. So Mackenzie McKee, her and her husband Josh have kind of gotten over their issues with his infidelity. So he did that scavenger hunt thing for her with a 3-word proposal, and that won her over. And so one of her conditions for them moving on in their relationship and in their marriage is that he can't travel anymore. And so, that kind of might be a little bit of an issue. We get to find out by the end of the episode because Mackenzie gets a job interview, and it might involve a little bit of travel as well. Let's take a look at the scene.
Well, first off, I get and you probably do too, like a million messages a day on Instagram, and I never check the ones that aren't my friends. And I just happened to check it, and I was like scrolling through, and I just clicked on this one, and it was a girl, and she owns the cheer gym and offered me a job.
Wow. So she needs you to help with the cheer squads.
Yes. Which I have been dying to get back in the cheer industry.
So there you go. Cheyenne's got the offer for a job in the cheer industry, but the travel involves about 6 weekends a year, which I don't think is half bad. But, right? Like she and Josh made that pact. So her mom asked her later on in the scene how Josh would take it. So what did you think about that? Was it a little bit like, I don't know, or?
I was rooting for her because I love her, and I just feel like it's been a long time coming. She loves cheerleading, and like you said, even with competitions, with it being a competitive cheer squad, like that's not a lot of travel. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of travel when it comes to cheer, and I used to cheer, so that's pretty good. It's just it was a little awkward of a time being that they just talked about how he couldn't.
Yeah,
anything, but I feel like she deserves it. She deserves it.
Yeah,
like time for him to sit down.
She's a long-suffering wife, let her like go for her little travel for her job. Like she wants to get back out there, and she's the breadwinner for the family, and this is only going to bring more income for them. So yeah. So I'm seeing a lot of good comments there. Thank you so much to Shy Gal for the super chat, enjoying our live stream. Thank you so much to be talking about our show with you. What is Oh, Brooke, she's saying she's shocked Corey isn't on her last nerve this season. She watches the challenge, and he's not so bad so far anyway. Lacey says that her heart breaks for Mackenzie to have to watch the scenes of her mom, especially when it's of her mom giving her bad advice. I agree as well, just because, I remember, like, she went to her mom about Josh cheating, and the mom didn't even hear her out. All she basically said was, what did she say? She was like, divorce should not even
it shouldn't be an option. And the worst part is she pulled out the card of, what did you do? And I was like, wait a minute, mom. That's a little toxic.
She's such a pick me, but like she said, like it's sad for Mackenzie to have to watch that back now that her mom has passed away. This is good for Mackenzie. Hopefully Josh can step up with the kids. Do you guys genuinely think that he is about to change or no?
I hope so. I really do. I don't know if you can really change someone that quickly. Like all of a sudden.
Exactly. I don't even know if Josh is awake. You know what I mean? Like that guy, he's so like, I don't know what's going on. So yeah, I don't see him changing personally.
And the crazy part is that like I'm so used to him being so like and numb now that like him being sweet, it's like it's awkward.
Exactly. Like, no, aren't you supposed to be out here being an F-boy? Like,
Right.
Now in the next scene, we get to see Tyler drive he and Caitlin's friend over to the fines paid and everything. She may be facing some jail time for breaking her probation. So let's take a look.
Is completed. Like at this day, I am not any kind of threat to society.
Right.
Any type of threat to society. Like, if anything, I'm at least a little asset, you know?
Like you're a huge asset. No. It's you're a huge asset. Everyone's got a purpose here on this earth.
I work and I pay taxes. Like, I'm not just a bum that just sits around and tries to not do nothing.
Right.
Guys, what do we think about Caitlin and Tyler's friend? Is she just using them for their money and she's just going to continue like, you know, the way his dad Butch has been? Or do we think that she is genuinely interested in improving her life? Really quickly, thank you so much to the Slate Life for your super chat as well. Thank you. What do you think, Britt, and all of you guys watching as well, of Tyler and Caitlin's friend?
Yeah, I feel like she's genuine, and it's difficult because they have so many other people in their lives that aren't genuine with drug addictions. So I feel like her coming in just makes it like, oh, another one.
I know.
They've been friends for so long. I really think it just stinks because he's got his dad and his sister, and it just looks bad on her part.
I know. And like one thing that stuck out to me when she even was in jail, and then Caitlin and her mom were talking about it after like the collect call, the mom, they mentioned the name of the jail, and the mom's like, oh, I know that one. I used to sleep on this cell or on the floor. And I was like, everybody? What?
It's crazy. Yes. I think she just got a bad, like, just going for the bunch because she, I feel like, is the only one out of their whole core group that's ever been addicted to something that I feel like is genuinely
yeah, like I definitely I don't know, like I feel like people can fool you. Like I see her as someone who wants to do better but was just born into poor circumstances, and that's how she wound up in this lifestyle, and hopefully she's able to pick herself back up.
Right.
Princess Ricky, she is being a little bit shady today. She's like, isn't it ironic how Ashley talks about taxes with Tyler? It just came out 2 days ago that Caitlin and Tyler owe over $800,000 in taxes to the IRS. And so I really hope that they are able to kind of pay that back because, it's a shame to see them kind of drop that far. Leslie saying that Tyler telling him he has a purpose is heartwarming to me, though. Yeah, I thought so too. I was like, you know what? That was a really sweet comment, Tyler. Tyler's a very big-hearted person. Like, sometimes he puts his foot in his mouth, but like he always means well. You know, I think that there's a huge thing to kind of look out for in people. Sometimes people say the wrong things, but so long as they consistently show themselves as someone with a good heart, like you do forgive them.
Right.
Now, you guys, let's talk about the next scene here. So Cheyenne and her friend Remy have decided to launch a business. They want to do a party event planning business, so they go out for their first business lunch. So let's just see how astute of a businesswoman Cheyenne's friend Remy is.
A team, we can start building the website, but in order to build the website, we're going to need content. So we're going to have to put on an event. I think a big thing when you book a event planner is you're going to want to see stuff that they've done.
For sure.
So I have a few things that we can pick from.
Of course you have the list.
Did you guys get the comment? I'm going to scroll back. I scrolled a little bit too far. We'll see like how business
with some friends. I'm trying not to focus on him because I have a lot to do to get my event planning business off the ground.
So what are the next steps? How do we start a business? How do we get an LCC? Or
so I think
did anyone drop out of their seat?
I watched this twice now. I didn't even realize she said that. That is
no. Oh my God. I was like, girl, really?
Oh, baby. I will say Cheyenne's friends, though, are all so beautiful. And I feel like that really helps get by it.
It helps. I saw her say that dumb statement. I was like, you are lucky that like you are a beautiful girl. And I help you like
get away with a lot. LCC?
Yeah, we're getting a lot of comments coming in here. Everyone's like, I died. She said LCC. I was like, what? Who doesn't even know? Like, okay, maybe you don't know how to set one up and you'll figure it out together. But for you to straight up say LCC, okay, girl.
Oh, she was serious.
Yeah, I felt kind of bad for Cheyenne because you could tell that Cheyenne really takes it seriously and wants to make the most of her platform. She's got millions of people watching her every single week. You know, she wants to use that and set herself up for life with these event things. And have you seen like the events that she's thrown for Ryder and stuff like that in the past?
I have. They seem nice. The show makes them look like they're a little like thrown together, but when you watch it on like social medias and stuff, it looks
great, right?
It looks great. So I'm trying to figure out if like MTV edits it to make it look like it's like crappy put together, you know?
I think it's because on the show you get like 2 seconds of the actual like peripheral of what it looks like and everything, but like on Instagram and stuff, like she has all the photos and she compiles it, so you get like a full picture. Because like MTV, they only really care about like, what do they care? They care about the drama, the side conversations that they're having and stuff like that. Now, in this next scene, what happens in the next scene? So she and her friend, we just saw, by the way, before we skip on over, she's like, okay, we need to have a portfolio, right? She's like, we've got to have a portfolio to show people on our website when they come to know that we do good work. So she's like, my godson's got a first birthday coming up. And then what else happens? One of our friends is launching a fitness app. Good ideas. We could pitch like a launch party for that, or we could throw the birthday party and have this kind of content for our portfolio. Meanwhile, on the other side of LA, her boyfriend Matt scored her solo scene and some free food in exchange for sharing his side of the blow up that happened with Cheyenne. So let's take a look at it, and you guys let me know what you think about the he said, she said story.
Right? So how's it been with y'all? We hit a little bit of a rough patch, if I'm being honest. And what did y'all actually fight about? Long story short, I was feeling a way about certain things, and I got so frustrated with how I was feeling as though my love language wasn't being understood, and I was expecting this, that, and the third, but I was vocal about it.
Was it like a blow up?
It wasn't like a really big argument because we didn't do a lot of back and forth.
Right.
But it was one of those things where, like, you know, everybody was kind of in the room, like, looking like, like, what's going on with them? Damn, like, what's up? Yeah. Because I did it in front of her family and friends, it was awkward for her. I've been trying to give her some space, but we're supposed to go on this trip to Thailand next week, so we should probably talk soon.
It's like growing pains that you and Shar are going through right now.
That's what my dad called it. I want to make sure that we're on the same page. That way we can move forward. Yeah. And we can, you know, be thick as thieves. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be there.
Guys, who wants to tell him? Who wants to tell this guy? Because clearly he has not gotten the memo that Cheyenne is out. She is gone. Like the difference between the way the two of them explained it was truly night and day, right?
It really was. But what killed me is like, he's like, oh, it was because I did it in front of her parents and her family and friends. It's like, dog, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
You never blow up. And the one time you decide to like be about it, it's in front of everybody.
I know. That was the thing. Like, really? I think like maybe she was just pissed in general that you even had the audacity to be yelling at her over a damn plate, you know?
Oh, man. Especially in front of people. I don't play that arguing in front of people thing. Like, who? No. It doesn't work. But growing pains.
What was that, sorry?
I said, but growing pains.
What I forgot to mention as well was that at that party, like Cheyenne's got a daughter, her sister's got a young son. They're both like tiny, tiny babies. So obviously, like, her head would have been all over the place with those kids as well. So, like, she probably meant to even do it, but, like, just didn't, like, really have the time to. Like, it was not a huge deal at all. And, like, he just really took it to a place that it did not need to go to.
Exactly.
So we got a comment here from Emily. Okay, but there's a time and a place, dude. And if you're living with your girlfriend and her family, rent free, you can't get mad in front of her fam. Tell it, Emily. Tell it. Oh my God, we're getting a lot of here, you guys. Like, you guys are totally on the ball. Like, I agree with everything it is that you guys are saying.
Yes, I said it earlier. No one on these shows cares if children are around or not. They don't.
Yeah, it seems like it. Like, you always see them, like, screaming and yelling in front of children and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, kids don't even flinch because they must be, like, used to it at this point. Petra Pan, she says, you see Cheyenne went off on her last boyfriend, Kyle, when he got disrespectful in front of her fam. You got a good memory because I can't even remember that.
What about that?
You remember
that? Good one. I forgot all about that. She don't play that family thing. I'm with her on that.
No, absolutely not.
Someone can holler at you in front of your family like it needs to end because it's going to get worse from there. Like, that's just showing your true colors.
Exactly. And you know what else I forgot to mention about them actually was, did you guys notice in his conversation with his friends, he talks about, like, them getting back together, this, that, and the other, but he never once talked about how he could kind of, like, fix things by potentially getting his own place. He wasn't even supposed to have been living with her. He just popped up over there and imposed himself, on her family living situation. So why was that not even a topic? Like, I said it in my last recap, you guys, but I really do think that this guy is some sort of a homosexual, and that tie-dye shirt he was wearing at lunch did not help my suspicions one bit. What did you think?
I agree with I also question, like, the people around him, like his parents and his friends. They're not saying, hey, dude, maybe you should move and get your own spot.
Right.
That you're moving in with this girl and she's got a child and you're supposed to have a roommate. Maybe that's why you guys are arguing. Like,
exactly.
People don't have people right around them. Like, it drives me insane.
Yeah, like on Twitter, Cheyenne even, like, had some behind the scenes too. She claimed that according to her, she felt as though he was using her to put on his little rap career or his music career. So, that was a really strong vibe that I was getting for him. So I'm not exactly surprised to see that, though. Like, it sucks, for her. Like, my heart definitely goes out to her if that was in fact true. And speaking of sketchy, down south in Tennessee, Ryan and Mackenzie sit down to talk about the blow up with his father from last week's episode. And I couldn't help but notice how kind of off Ryan sounded. Take a listen for yourself, you guys, and let me know what you think about the way he was speaking.
Have you talked to your dad since the other night?
No, it's just a messy situation.
Do you think that you and your dad will talk about it?
I doubt it. That just blew my mind with Dad having an attitude towards me because I just want to, be on the safe side.
What did you think of that scene and the way he was speaking? Did he sound a little bit, not sober?
He did. It's very sad. I don't know. I feel like she was trying to get away with it, maybe him being sleepy, but it didn't sound. He was slurring his words.
Yeah.
What could it be? What is that he's on?
I know.
Ryan.
It's interesting that you said that he was trying to disguise it, like, by seeming sleepy or whatever. I also thought, like, is he trying to make it sound like he's got a cold or something? Like, I don't know. Like, I just wasn't buying anything there. A lot of comments here are saying that you can tell that he's not sober with the grassy voice. People are really over here saying that it's not.
It's sad, guys. It's really sad. All jokes aside, like, it's very terrible just to watch someone still continuously just go downhill.
Yeah. Especially knowing that, like, he's got 3 kids at this point.
Yeah.
maybe 4. Sorry, I should say 4, because he's got Mackenzie's son as well, Hudson. So that's unfortunate. Later on in the scene, Mackenzie lets us know that she told Macy that she and Ryan and Hudson would be coming to the birthday party for Bentley, but that Macy would have to follow the restraining orders that she had set in the first place. And then Ryan very ironically says that he's tired of everybody kissing Macy's ass. And I say it's ironic because earlier on in the episode, his parents were talking about how they weren't going to ask him any more tough questions because he flips out over them, so it's kind of funny how he doesn't really see that over there.
And people have always kissed his ass. That's why it's funny, because people never realize, like, maybe it's you, maybe you're the issue. Exactly. There's always people like that, though, or that are the ones that are always like the ones getting their ass kissed, that are like, stop kissing someone else's ass. He's so entitled. Exactly. He's at the same time.
Right. They're like, yeah, he's just been spoiled and stuff. So now in the next scene, it's Tyler and Caitlin and their friend Ashley again. So Tyler, Caitlin's friend, she was not sentenced to any kind of jail time. This is a clip that Brittany, that you were talking about this morning. I was like, okay, I got to pull it for her, because she was talking to me about when we were doing our rehearsal. We rehearsed not what we were going to say, but just like what we wanted to use clips for. Yeah. And so I hadn't seen the episode until like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. And so, yeah, this is one of Brittany's scenes that she wanted to talk about, Tyler prank calling Caitlin. Let's see what happens.
Well, hello, sexy man.
Hey girl.
What are you doing?
Oh God, it was intense. Like, it was kind of crappy. I thought for sure they'd let her go. I guess I just got my hopes.
In jail?
She got a year.
In jail?
Year.
Why would they make her sit in jail for a year?
Hey, he's lying. I'm here. I get to come home.
Oh my God.
I get to come home.
I would have went longer, but
I got 6 months extended probation.
Oh my God. Thank God. God, Tyler.
Little Nova's voice over there in the background. She didn't get in jail.
It's just so cute. That really, really got me.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So, all right. This is the main part that killed me about this scene. All right.
Uh-huh.
I feel like for being with someone as long as they have been together, that there is, like, are you seriously so entitled and in such a I am me self-absorbed environment that you didn't realize your husband was joking with you? Like, my husband could have called and I would have been like, dude, stop. She didn't go to jail. You know what I mean? Like, she's like, really?
You know what, though? I would imagine, I'm like, maybe she was just so distracted, because remember, they got that tiny, tiny, tiny baby as well. And sometimes her brain is just like all over the place. I got to stick up for myself, because I am just so gullible. I am. I can hear you well, and you could like tell me the most outlandish thing, and I would believe it.
I forgot about that baby. They do have another little one.
They do, yeah. Little, what's her? We were talking about this. There's Nova, and the other one, her name is, I feel so bad. Veda. Yeah, so they got those 2 kids over there, and Paula saying it was funny how Nova knew about that. I get it, Jen. Man.
I was like, what is this baby? No, it's so sad.
And speaking of jail, you guys, Amber is next heading out for her hearing to find out whether or not she has been sentenced to any kind of jail time. It's time for her plea bargain, I guess, to hear whether or not it has been accepted. And so people who are going there to support her family, of course, and then Gary and Christina as well. Guys, can you imagine, like, if anyone in their world had a regular job and kept having to call in to be there for this chick and all of her legal drama, like, like you'd be out of vacation days, personal days, dealing with her. Let's take a look. We get to hear an impact statement. This is a clip that I'm about to show for you guys. It's an impact statement from Andrew, a victim statement, and he really goes in on her, y'all. He goes in. Let's hear what it was he said.
It was one of the scariest nights of my life, and my mind replays the worst moments to no end. When I begged you to please stop shouting and cursing in front of our infant, your reply was, "It doesn't matter, he's just a baby. Be a mother for once in your life."
Wow. He said, be a mother for once in your life. Guys, what do we think about that?
Oh, shots fired. He has had it. He's had enough.
Yes, like, but the thing is, they hid the context. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't really line up for me because I felt like, he was like, I was terrified, blah, 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 be a mother for once in your life. I'm like, what does that have to do with you know what I mean? I feel like they chopped it up and just to make sure that they had that soundbite in there. And I'm glancing through Chastity's comment because I think it lines up with what I wanted to say. She said, what does it say about Andrew's character if his first impression of her was on Marriage Boot Camp and he wanted to be with her? He's seen an opportunity in Amber. Hands down, Amber is wrong. See, that's the thing. Like, you could see wrong in both of them. Like, I agree. It says a lot about him that he saw the way she acted on that show, which was horrific, and still decided to not only date her, but like straight up move into her house instantly, the same way her ex Matt did, and instantly have a baby with her. In less than 2 weeks they were pregnant. Like, it was ridiculous. And on top of that, Amber already had a child when she got with Andrew. For you to tell this woman who already had a child and you knew that she had a child, be a mother for once in your life, what does that say about you? That you were with her and you never thought she was a good mother. And number two, that you had a child with this person that you never thought was a good mother. It was a self-drag. It was a little bit of a self-drag.
Mm-hmm. They're both so manipulative. It's crazy. But like you said, even with that 2-week span, if you saw how she wasn't around Leah for even just 2 weeks, you decided to impregnate her.
Mm-hmm. She's always got like some kind of like an excuse. And like last week's episode, Gary was calling her out. He's like, you can't keep like ghosting out on like seeing your daughter just because you're not in the mood. Like, this is, it's not your friends. Like, sometimes you're not in the mood to go see your friends because you're going through whatever, but this is your child. Like, what is wrong with you?
You don't work. She doesn't have a job.
Exactly.
How exhausted are you? Like,
exactly. She doesn't
work. Go home to your kids, and like, you can't just see your child.
Yep. And by the way, you guys, in case anyone didn't actually get to see the episode live, Amber was sentenced to 2.5 years of probation. What else there? So yeah, she was sentenced to 2.5 years of probation. And then later on, we get to see what Gary thought about the whole entire thing. And he had a lot of really strong things to say about Andrew. What did you think, Britt? Because Gary has not really been holding back like any punches or anything like that. And he really went in this time around.
Yeah. No, I just feel like, again, he just sees that it's potential that she could go back to jail. And at this point, he's just like, dude, I'm tired of this myself.
Yeah.
He has been holding his tongue a lot when it cocomes to her for Leah. Or just, I feel like he's afraid of her still, honestly.
Yeah.
Himself for everything he went through with her. So I think sometimes even when she gets loud when they're talking, have you noticed he'll be like, hey, and like kind of just stiffen up.
Exactly. I think that he's kind of like in that line where Jen and Larry are. Jen and Larry are at that point where they're like, we want to tell him about himself, but the problem is if we do that, he won't see his son, to spite us. And it's most important for him to see his son. And I think that that's where Gary's at. Like, she'll stop seeing Leah to spite me, but Leah's the one who would lose out.
Exactly. And Leah is smart as a tick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's incredibly smart, and she has such a bright future that, like, they have Gary and Christina, her parents, have to minimize the stress that she goes through, and unfortunately, Amber that gives Amber the leverage to really like pick and choose what kinds of conversations it is that she is able to have.
Right.
Now, let's take a look and hear what it was exactly that Gary had to say about Andrew.
And his statement really had an impact on her.
But I just think a lot of that had to do with he was trying to rile her up.
He had even said, something about for once in your life, be a mother. Like,
oh, yeah. The plea was the best thing for Andrew, because from what I understand, if he can taunt her into getting going off at him is technically a violation of probation. So if she breaks her probation, she will do the full 5 years. She'll get hit with a felony. At that point, he wins custody, whatever child support. I mean, think about that. 5 years in prison is what guarantees him almost everything. And that's what he's trying to do.
Did you tell Lee?
What did you think about what he claimed when it came to Andrew and his motives? Like, those were some very strong statements to make about a victim of domestic violence. Like, it's important to remember here that they're in this situation because Amber committed domestic violence, domestic assault, allegedly, let's say, towards him. And this is what Gary is saying about him. So, I don't think that anything here is really black and white outside of that. Like, in terms of Andrew's actual character, because have you heard of Andrew's kind of track record with women? We talked about this in our last live, but I don't know if you were able to kind of like really go into it.
Yeah, you were telling me a little bit about that. So he seems like such a good guy, but he is very, from what you were telling me, manipulative. Like, he gets attached to these women and he literally does have her though in the perfect spot. Because if she messes up, it's done for her. So you hate to say it because, again, it is a man going through a domestic violence situation. And a lot of the times we don't, understand that and believe that men can go through that. So it's kind of like, because he did go through that. But at the same time, he really did play the game right if he did do it on purpose. It's just...
I'm going to read Paula's comment next. And by the way, do you mind turning your phone on silent while I read this one? So Paula says, I think what Gary said was gross. It's a sin for Andrew to want Amber. Is it a sin for Andrew to want Amber in jail? Gary himself didn't want Amber to have custody of Leah. He is Andrew with full custody and child support. See, that's what I felt like. I felt like the approach that Gary should have taken was more talking about how more beneficial this was for Amber. Because I felt like the probation was the best thing that could have happened for Amber. I wouldn't say that it's the best thing that would have happened for Andrew. Like, whether he wants this, that, or whatever is not really the problem here. He deserves whatever it is that he feels will help him to feel vindicated as a victim of domestic violence. The way that Gary worded that really kind of disgusted me a little bit. But yeah, like,
especially since he went through it. It's very strange. Yeah. You would think he were on his side because he experienced it with this same woman. So
he experienced it really, really bad. She tried to kick him downstairs. She could have punched him deaf. That time she punched him straight in the ear. She had held him in a chokehold in front of her father before. Like, she had done a lot of really horrible things, and she never really stopped. Like, she kept doing this with boyfriend after boyfriend. And so you would hope that Gary would take that into consideration and see how good the structure was for Amber. And I wrote down some notes about like what her probation was like, just to kind of remind anybody. But like, remember, she's got 2.5 years of probation, and she can't get into any kind of trouble, because if she does, then she's sentenced to 5 years in jail. Even if something happens like way into her probation, like 2 years in, like 2 and 3, 3/4 or whatever, or sorry, 2 and just a bit, and like, she can be sentenced to that full 5 years, like almost instantaneously. So as part of her probation, she's not allowed to leave her county without written permission. She is not allowed to contact Andrew. She has to take court-ordered parenting classes, battery intervention program classes. She's got to do mental health, substance abuse, and psychological evaluations and treatment plans. And she also has to submit to random urine and breath tests at least once a month, where she only has like 24-hour notice to get off her ass, go to a center, and do the test. Like, I don't think this is a walk in the park at all. And I think it's a very constructive sentence that really forces her to make an effort out of bettering herself as a person. Like, I know a lot of people have these like kind of, I call them like jail boners. Like, everyone's always like, I want this person to go to jail. This structured situation that she has right now, where she's forced to do all these things that would make her be a better person, how is that not more beneficial to Amber, to society, to her children, than her just sitting in jail and doing nothing. You know, she's done jail. She was in jail for quite a while and she turned out like this. So why is this not something, you know, that would be more beneficial for her and everybody like associated with her?
Yeah, and the sad part is, I think that the probation is actually more of a jail for her because, like you said, she was fine in jail for 5 years. I think her being out in like public and having to really take care of her business and take care of her kids, like I think that's going to teach her way more.
Exactly.
She thrived in jail. I feel like she was actually really happy in jail.
One of the happiest I've ever seen her was when she came out of jail. She had like what I think was a prison girlfriend. She was kissing at her barbecue and stuff, and she looked so promising. I fell for the okie doke. I thought she would make something of her life after her jail sentence, but she didn't. And so now here they are giving her 2.5 years of a very structured way to improve her life. And I am all for it, especially knowing that if she doesn't take it seriously, she's got 5 years hanging over her head.
Yeah. That's stressful.
Now, we've got a super chat over here. Thank you so much, Night Runner, for your super chat. It says, you can be a victim of domestic violence, but still be a gaslighter. I think that he is absolutely gaslighting Amber. What do you think about that, Britt?
I absolutely agree with that. Like, it just fits for both parties, especially if you got her to the point, like there's no excuse, you guys. I'm not saying there's an excuse for her putting her hands on him or doing anything like that, but like both of them just egg each other on. So like there's a reason that she's getting so hyped up to even think to put her hands or pull out a machete on you. Like, what is going on? I agree with that.
Man, I'm very much on the side that Amber just anything sets her off, you know, like if she heard that like it was it's Wednesday today, she woke up from her, you know, usual 36-hour nap and found out it was Wednesday, she would pull the machete out on you. I don't think that, you know, there's any real kind of a reason, but you know,
she's angry. She's a very angry person.
Exactly. I think she belongs in jail. She thrives probably as much as she likes to fight. I remember awful things that she was saying. She's very cruel and demeaning. Like the things she said, I was like, who can even imagine saying, you know, that sort of a thing to people? Like that was horrific.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Especially the father of your children, like
with the child present, you know?
Yeah.
It seemed like she's taking it serious. And by the way, one of the biggest like sentences in all of this is this. Amber is on a reality show where she wants so badly for everyone to see her as the victim in this situation. And guess what? She is not allowed to do. Talk about the damn situation. I feel like that is a really good kind of jail sentence for her, if you ask me.
Yeah, she was getting hype when she couldn't talk about it. Like she was getting more and more. Did you notice that? Like she was progressive.
I have that scene pulled out, ready for everybody a little bit later on. And I think it's one of the coming a couple of scenes here, but like you guys are really gonna see just how upset Amber is about that, and that to me I feel like is good vindication for Andrew. Now, you guys, in the next scene, we don't have too much to say about Mackenzie in this episode, so I just thought that, like, you know, I'd kind of show a little scene of her going over to the cheer place where she was kind of hired for the job that she's about to be doing. Again, I'm really excited for her. She goes to meet the owner of the cheer facility, and she tells her that she also wants to see her do some live fitness classes. And yeah, it's really great.
Are you able to travel to things?
Most weekends, yes. Because I run a business from home, so yeah. I'll just have to work it out with my husband.
I think it'll be a good fit. I think you've got that positivity that we really try to bring here, and let's make a plan.
I know. I'm so excited.
I'm so happy for Mackenzie. Like, I think she's so cute.
She's adorable.
She's so pure. She's trying her best to just like elevate her life and her children's lives. And she works so hard, and like just to see her kind of dreams come true, and like the fact that she still has career dreams. Like, I love people who care about like their careers and stuff like that.
Yeah, she's just still very humble. For out of all of them on that show, you can tell that she's still. Does she not? Do you think she doesn't make as much as the rest of the girls because she just entered back on?
Yeah, I think that she and Cheyenne aren't making as much as the other girls. Although That's my question. You know what, you guys, in the comments, let me know, because this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking she and Cheyenne are not making as much as the other girls, but Cheyenne may be making more than her from like a celebrity rate. You know, Bristol was like new and she made as much as the other girls because she was a Palin. But like Cheyenne was on like some other shows, The Challenge and Are You the One? So maybe she had a higher rate off of that.
Right.
At the same time, like Kenzie was a star of Teen Mom 3. So maybe they do kind of add up there.
Yeah, I'm proud of her. She's doing it.
Yeah, I'm really proud of her as well. Thank you so much for the super chat, Brooke. She says, I guess this is Amber, by the way, being more dainty is out of the questions, at least for a few years now. Yes, you know, I don't know if you know this or not, you guys, but Amber's machete is called Mother Goddess. So Mother Goddess is going to have to be put away for the time being. Thank God. Like, this is the best for society at the very end of the day. And I still can't believe that scene of the driving. She was like, I want to be seen as dainty. And then when Andrew asked her, what do you mean by that? She turned around and was like, bangs out. Now, let's see, what do I have here in the next scene? Okay, so Ryan and Mackenzie, they go to the birthday party. Are you guys surprised that they actually did end up going to the birthday party? Are you, Brooke?
I am. I didn't think they were going to make it. I thought it was going to be one of those dramatic things that they talked about the whole episode and then just didn't go.
Yeah.
You know?
Me too, especially after the way that they kind of acted. How do they act? The way that they sort of acted last week, right? Like, and that's the whole reason why his father was kind of fighting with him, was because he made it seem as though he did not want to go because he didn't want to get in trouble, right, with his probation situation.
Right.
Yeah, so it was interesting to see them go. And as you can see here, they're like about to walk into a back wall exit because they were trying so hard to avoid Taylor and Macy because of the restraining order that the two of them do have in place. Something that was kind of interesting about them here is that they actually went to the zoo with a dog in their car, but here they are in the zoo with no dog. So I'm like, did they leave the dog in the car or what? Anyway, after the zoo situation, Macy is back home with her friend, and then she talks about what she's kind of concerned about regarding Ryan.
No, they didn't win. Oh, God. How did Ryan look?
I've seen him look better.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It's the first time I've seen him since he got out of jail that, in my opinion, he was 100% not sober.
Did he talk to you?
No, he didn't. He didn't talk to me, but I didn't expect him to because of the restraining order.
Yeah.
I was just like the cycle starting all over again. I just wish that someone that's close to him would say, do you need more help?
Mm-hmm.
And tell him it's okay if you do.
Right.
If the last year didn't change anything, then the clock is ticking even faster at this point.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I think at some point he's going to hit rock bottom.
Mm-hmm. He won't hit rock bottom until there's nothing for him to come back to.
Well, he's going to have to lose everything.
Yeah.
Oh no, do you see the comments? What's this? Our stream stopped?
I don't know. It seems pretty live to me still.
Oh man, really?
Did it stop? It still says it. YouTube.
It stopped.
YouTube.
Policy violations.
Yeah, it's so strange. I still see people
commenting.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Oh, it says we have a mole in here. Someone said we have a mole in here.
Wow. What?
Copyright. You're not playing long clips.
I know. And it's commentary. Because the last time, okay, we're going to keep doing it. And then, like, I'll put it on archive because I'm going to have to battle this copyright kind of strike. It's very annoying because they did this to my last stream as well. But then I appealed it and it was live again, like, within, like, 24 hours or so. So I'm like, okay, well, keep going with this.
I don't know how you put up with that. I know you got to be going through a lot.
It's such a nightmare. Like, we're whatever. We'll talk about this a little bit later because I want to encourage MPV out in the comments.
Because some people might still see it. So
yeah. Exactly. So she is saying that Ryan is not exactly sober. And like that was something that we talked about a little bit earlier as well, right?
Yeah. Like Macy, I just wish so badly that they could get their communication together because she's so good for him.
Yeah.
She really is. And I think it's because he's always been older than her that he doesn't like to listen.
Mm-hmm.
He is older than her. There's something about her that just rubs him the wrong way. I think because he knows I don't know. What do you think it is? She's the only one in his life, I feel like, who has ever like really cared enough to
I agree. Yeah, like remember, like a couple of seasons past, she was crying about like how much she wanted him to get better, like for himself, for his son, like for everybody.
Yeah, and he can't stand her the most. And I think she's the best person for him, to be honest, as like angry as she seems to him. Like Mason actually cares and is the only one that's ever like calling him out on his stuff. Like, listen, you're on drugs, dude. You need to get it together.
Exactly. And I think that that's the reason why he kind of resents her so much. He's like, she sees through my bullshit. Like, no, I can't stand her. Oh, Lord. Now, there are two more scenes. I didn't get the clips for this first scene because it's very quick. Caitlin and Tyler, the friend, they're talking about her living in their house still and whether or not they're okay with that. They determine, you know what, we're fine with it because she helps us out around the house. She is still working and all of that. So, like, she, you know, where else is she going to go? So we're okay with this. One thing I want to note quickly is that I was surprised that their home doesn't have any more. Oh, the thing is back.
We missed you.
Yes, welcome back, you guys. I'm glad it kept going. This is so weird. Honestly, you guys, really quickly, I was talking to Britt about this, but like, does anyone have a contact at Viacom? Because they knock down my videos all the time, even if I just use like a photo for a recap, like a freaking photo. And then like you have to go through this appeal process. And then like the videos get approved like 24 to like 36 hours later. And it's just such a pain in the butt. We didn't really go through that much after you guys left. Like we're just talking right now quickly about the scene with Caitlin and Tyler talking about their friend's living situation now that she is free at last, thank God Almighty. And we just said, like, they're happy to have her still in the house because she does help them around and she is working. She's trying to find a better job and everything. So they're quite good with that.
Yeah.
And the next scene was that Matt came over to Cheyenne's house to pick up more of his things and discuss the state of their relationship. He apologizes for yelling at her in front of her family, and Cheyenne had quite the cold reaction. I want to pull it up really quickly so that we don't kind of spoil it for you in case any of you guys have not been able to see it for yourselves, because I don't know. I want to know if her reaction kind of surprised anyone else here. So let's kind of take a look at it right now.
I know it's kind of been a little bit of a minute, but first of all, I wanted to apologize. I kind of let my emotions get the best of me. I was feeling at the time like the way that you show love and the way that you receive love, I guess things weren't being reciprocated in the way that I would have wanted them to.
I don't have to be affectionate to show that I love you or to show that I care. Like, I don't need to hold your hand all day. I don't need to tell you that I love you all day. I don't need to call you cute names. I don't need to send cute texts. I don't need those things to make me feel good about myself or about a relationship.
Damn, how freaking harsh was that? Right? Like, what?
Stone cold. I legit left watching that scene like she might as well have just broken up with him.
I know. It's like, you don't need to tell him all of that stuff because it's just so mean. Like, I felt like she kind of like belittled his, you know, what he was telling her, you know, like he went and told her like, this is what I need. And that's what you should be doing in a relationship, is communicating what you need from your partner so that like they're not doing things wrong and not knowing about it. You know what I mean? Like, what the heck? And that's what she said. Like, sure, you might not need those things to feel good about a relationship or about yourself or whatever, but like, you obviously need some other stuff. We all have some things that we need in a relationship. And that's what, I don't know. It rubbed me the wrong way, but like.
Yeah, it really also makes you wonder what other things have happened. Cause I feel like it's gotta be more than this fight. She was so cold.
Yeah, she was pissed.
Yeah. And then he did say it's been a minute since we talked. I wonder how long that minute was. You know?
Because she said that they hadn't talked and since the situation at the house. And so like unfortunately we never know like how many days or weeks or whatever are passing in between like all of their interactions and stuff. So yeah, but like it was harsh. And then at the end of the scene, let me pull it up over here. At the end of the scene, he actually does dump him. He's like, okay, like I hear what you're saying and stuff. And she's just like, you know what? Like at this point, we just need to take a second and kind of walk away from this kind of relationship. And like she doesn't want him to go to Thailand anymore or anything like that. And like I felt so bad for her.
Yeah, it really, yeah, again, I just don't understand why they should just broke up, because like that was the end all. Like on both sides, if you're that way, if you're that so cold with someone, you should be like, this needs to be done. And he should have been like, we should just, what's the point of this?
Exactly. She's saying, Petra's saying, Cheyenne used to be so into him. I don't know why she just brushed him to the side basically when he moved to LA. Honestly, I feel like she caught the same vibe that we all got, which was that, hold up, wait a minute, this guy is coming here. At first, she wanted him to live with her. She wanted that so bad. And he was like too big, bad, and cool for her because his music career he thought was going to pop off and stuff. And then all of a sudden, his music career doesn't happen. You know, SoundCloud isn't getting the downloads he thought it was going to get. And so he's like, oh, I'm going to have roommates and stuff. Roommate stuff falls through. He pulls up to her house with suitcases, like without really even saying anything. And shows no sign of wanting to move out. Like when they went to look at places with him, his friends he was supposed to move in with, his dad and stuff, at the end of viewing places for him to live with roommates, he goes, so what do you think about us living together?
What?
Yeah. Like as soon as that, like he showed himself that way, I was like, no, I'm not dealing with that. So yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people saying here that like, you know, Cheyenne isn't getting what she wants and she's dissatisfied. And that's why that she kind of like changed up on him. And yeah, like, don't you guys have those moments where you could be like so into someone and then you just start realizing some things? You're like,
now. And you got to feel for these girls, because imagine like I'm not knocking Teen Mom or whatever, but like they are not Beyonce. You know, so the fact that you have to be so careful with the people who you surround yourself with and the people who may be using you just to be on this type of platform.
Yeah.
It's so insane, because like it's still not even like the level of superstardom, you know?
Exactly.
Like, it's not the same as
like calm down, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm happy for her that she stuck up for herself and didn't like go, oh, like he suddenly wants to live with me. She saw it for what it was and was like, no, he wants to live with me out of convenience, not out of genuine love. And then she decided that it didn't work for her. So I'm happy for that.
I'm happy too. I feel like she's getting more mature as the seasons go by. So I appreciate that.
Exactly. So what happens at the end of the scene? I just want to tell you guys what happens at the end of the scene because I don't want to play it. I want to skip forward to the Mackenzie Josh situation. So at the end of that scene, she tells him that she doesn't want to be with him. She doesn't want the whole Thailand situation, or actually she didn't break up with him definitively. She just said that she doesn't want the Thailand situation quite yet. And so he walks out, he tells her that he loves her, and she doesn't say anything back. She sheds one little tear and then just kind of moves on. And then after that, we get the scene of Mackenzie and Josh on the porch. She's breaking the news to him about the cheer job, where she might have to do a little bit of traveling. And she wants to get his reaction and see if he feels like she is being hypocritical by asking him about that after telling him that like a deal breaker for her was him going to travel. So here is the scene, everybody.
But I know we just had a conversation about traveling with rodeo, and I know I'll have to travel. So what do you think about that?
I think it's awesome.
So you don't think it's double standard or hypocritical for me to say I don't want you traveling, but I need to travel?
No. Because, like, if I have to, I'll go with you. Or if you have to, you'll go with me. And we can work it out.
So, wow. Were you as surprised as I was by Josh's reaction here?
I actually really was. I loved it, but I was really shocked. I did not think that he was going to react that way.
Yeah, I'm thinking, right? I'm like, okay, maybe this guy really did turn over a new leaf. Or maybe he's glad that he's going to have her out of town for some time so he can, you know, and bob wherever he wants without having to worry about like her, you know, asking him to come home or whatever. Like, I feel like he's like, all right, I'm tossing these kids off with my parents and I am doing, you know, this, that, and the other behind her back. So I don't know that I genuinely trust him. What do you guys think in the comments over there? Do you trust what he's doing? Is it genuine?
I know. I'm so confused by him. But someone, I just missed who it was that said that. But yeah, she didn't cheat. So that's good. I'm glad that we recognized that.
Exactly. Like, yeah, like in that respect, I don't think that it's a double standard that like is unfair whatsoever. But like, yeah, I just don't think that Josh is a genuine person. I don't think he's going to change. I just don't see it. I don't see it.
Though that he said that we could go together. Like, I feel like that was a good solution because a lot of the times they do act like they aren't, like they can't do things together. So I thought it was cool he said that.
I agree with that as well. I'm like, okay, like that was a really, really good thing for him to say. Like, all right, we can do this together. That's fine.
People don't trust them.
No, a lot of people are like, no. That's not happening. Oh yeah, I forget. Helen is right. They actually did both cheat in this marriage, girl. This marriage is a whole entire mess.
Right, Helen. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I never watched Teen Mom 3 or whatever it was. So like, I don't know like too much of the background story with them. I think that's why I like Mackenzie so much. I'm like, I don't know all the mess it is that you've done in your past, and I want to keep it that way. I want to stay
well,
like
I think it really was on the season. She so happened to say it. Like I said on our Instagram chat that time.
Yeah,
she was on a court show and brought that up. So I don't even think it was in a season.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to dig for that because I don't know anything about this court show or anything like that she was up to. So after this, in the final scene of the episode, we get that scene that we were alluding to a little bit earlier on in our recap. And it's a scene where Amber and Gary are talking about the terms of her probation. Remember, she's not allowed to talk about the case, Andrew, or anything for 2.5 years. If she says even the slightest damn thing, boom, she's going to jail for 5 years. And so in this scene, we get to see how frustrated she is with that court order that she has hanging over her head.
Honestly, like right now, like I'm so confused on what I'm even allowed to talk about or not talk about. But all I know is my lawyers are saying, don't say anything. I'm hurt. I'm stuck. I cannot speak. I cannot speak about certain things. And I feel like just very angry about it. And it annoys me.
It's very understandable.
Very annoying.
Because when people have arguments, you want to be heard and you get to say your piece and you get to say your side.
I cannot say my side. I can't.
You're really good. You gotta
say. This is so annoying right now.
Hey, over here.
You know, you give somebody 2.5 years probation, but then you also say that you can't do a certain thing for 2.5 years, as if you're possibly not going to slip up. I kind of feel like you're setting that person up for failure. Just saying.
You're going to be fine.
I know I'm going to be fine, but I do feel in that sense I was set up for failure, as if they wanted me to go to jail.
And there it is, you guys. Amber does not personally think that she will be able to uphold the terms of her probation agreement. Like, she genuinely is terrified of going to jail because, you know, it's a lot to ask, you know, like you can slip up and completely forget. This is 2.5 years, you know, who remembers like, you know, what their mom told them to do 2.5 years ago, like, or risk getting in trouble. Like she might get in trouble because saying here too, which is a really good point. She's saying that must be why Amber disappeared from Instagram Live. So she won't be tempted to say something. Plus she's got a new boy toy. She had that Belgian boyfriend for a bit, but I don't know that he's still back in America. I think they broke up a little while ago.
Girl, she needs to stop.
I know.
Yeah, no, it's just so funny because like you and I talking and the rest of you who are commenting and whatnot, I feel like to us it seems so simple. Like be a good human being. Like literally that's what it is. Be a good human being. Don't talk bad about people. Don't put your hands on someone. Like it's so simple. But
exactly.
It's really hard for her.
It is. It is. And I do think that this is what's going to get her. I see her at least trying to take the other stuff seriously, but like accidentally, because people like egg her on all the time on social media. Like anytime she posts something, she's probably getting a bunch of comments under it, a bunch of DMs and stuff telling her she's horrible, she's this, she's that, or that like Andrew's this or that. And like she could very easily like slip up and completely forget about this. And yeah.
Just as long as she's been doing this, though, you would think that she would be used to comments and stuff or ignoring it. Like, I don't understand. I get bad comments, too. Like, on my YouTube videos sometimes. I'm just like, whatever. Not a big deal.
I know, but with her, she used to go on these Instagram rants all the time. And it was quite wild, like what she would do. So it is like quite wise for her to kind of stay away from that at this point and just keep her mouth shut. Keep her mouth shut. Walk a straight line for this long, and hopefully she will be able to stay away from jail at the end of the day. But I don't know. You guys, do you think that she's going to mess up? And if you think she is going to mess up, what part of her probation do you think is going to get her? Will she miss a drug test? Will she not go to a parenting class or like a mental evaluation or whatever, domestic violence class? Like, what do you think is going to cause Amber to mess up if she does in fact end up having to go to jail? And at what point do you think that she actually even will mess up? Do you think that she could last? Because she was sentenced in October, I think, of last year. So it's been a couple of months.
It has been already, yeah.
Yeah. So now, keeping in mind that it's 2.5 years, now she's got a remaining 2 years. Let's say she did half a year. She could forget quite easily.
Stay away from men. Fine. Like, I feel like that part, she shouldn't have a boyfriend right now, especially.
Oh, I absolutely agree. But like, this is Teen Mom, they all just like, they're addicted. They can't go that long without like being single.
It's crazy. Oh, and she needs to not interact with Janelle. So someone saying her rants. Yeah, her and Janelle don't work together.
Yeah. Everyone's like saying the same thing. They're like, she needs to stay away from this and that. Like, a lot of people are just saying that she's not going to make it. I'm seeing like people saying she's not going to do stay away from social media. What are people saying? She's not going to stay away. Yeah. She's not going to attend the classes. She might slip up and talk about the situation. Honestly, the producers were prodding her the earlier episodes all the time, knowing that like it was still an open case. So I see them still kind of them. My arch nemesis, Kristen, isn't on Teen Mom OG, but she used to be the most antagonistic person. She'd be like, Janelle, what is happening? So if she were here, they need to hire her for next season. If they want to see something with Amber, Kristen is the one to call because she will be so dumb, and have her snap.
Oh man.
Yeah.
New psychiatrist. Oh, you know what I was confused about? And I'm about to sound really stupid, you guys. So here it goes. My one stupid comment. She said that she had a psychiatrist and then she also has a therapist. And I was confused about what the difference is between those two. So if you guys can enlighten me on that, because I've always thought a psychiatrist was pretty much the same as a therapist.
It's a really good.
It sounds real dumb, but 33 years of my life, I really truly they're always the same thing.
I think it's a good question because I know that psychiatrists are able to prescribe you things. Yeah, that's the thing. I think that's the difference. Is that psychiatrists can actually prescribe you something to help you, though therapists can diagnose you with mental health disorders. There's a big rumor. I never looked into it. I just have not been able to find the time to sit down and search. But apparently the psychiatrist that we were seeing last season wasn't even was a child psychiatrist. That was what Andrew was saying before. Andrew was claiming that the psychiatrist, the guy from last season and stuff we were seeing her with, was for children.
Mm-hmm.
Is that not weird? I'm like, why would he not be like, hold up, this woman is like 28 years old. Why am I, and especially on camera, to be doing that? Or was Andrew mistaken? I don't really understand what what the deal was over there.
Right. Thank you, guys. I didn't know the difference, but I know this is going to be a dumb question, but when she said it, I was really thrown off. Like, I always just thought those two comments, were the same. Those two professions. So thank you.
Well, you guys, that was a recap of what went down on yesterday's episode of Teen Mom OG. Again, this is Britt Bratt. If you enjoyed talking with her today, which I hope you did, I thought you did an amazing job, Britt. Thank you so much for being here. Definitely do follow her on YouTube. Like, she is absolutely amazing. She is also on Instagram as well. If you want to follow her, her name is Britt Bratt on everything.
Thank you, guys. I really enjoyed my time with you guys and reading everybody's comments, even though I couldn't respond to everybody. I read them all. So you guys are so enjoyable. I appreciate you for welcoming me. Grace, thank you.
Of course. Of course. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you guys all so much for watching. We'll see you next week for another recap of what went down on Teen Mom OG. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.